Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Today is October 3rd, 2023. Here we are in wonderful Pahrump. My name is Edward Bevilacqua. This is Department of Career Services. And the weather forecast is 53 degrees outside currently, and the high is going to be 79. Got to write these things down because who knows why, right? All right, so this is our day to Vegas. This is the day we go to Las Vegas. Oop, where'd I go? There I am. All right, so here we are, our daily podcast to help you get from where you are to someplace better, from point A to point B, from Someday Isle to Successlandia. And that's what we do, but it's not really the podcast. It's what's down below. Please check out the description down below. That's where the experts are. I am just getting you here to prepare you for the day. And we do it through a 5-part podcast. So this is part 1, prepare for the podcast. Part 2, attitude of gratitude. 3, review the previous day. 4, plan for today. 5, project the day, then go live it. So we prepare for today by doing a breathing exercise, which and when needed, like right now when you're getting up, but also when you have stressful events in your life, this is a way to calm you. This is the Huberman-Stanford technique. So it's a double inhale. You're filling your lungs as much as you possibly can. This is a quick way to do it. A different way to do it is to go exercise, but we're not sitting here exercising, we're watching a podcast, we're sedentary. So this is a way to fill your lungs, get oxygen in, cortisol out, etc. So it looks like this, a double inhale. And a long exhale. Get all the air out, and then you can feel it. Okay, part 1 down. Part 1 down. Prepare for the podcast. Part 2. So when we do this, we have a little bit of coffee. Once again, we're getting down to scraping the bottom of the bag of the Pete's coffee, generously provided by Randy Bissell, Prison Ministries of Texas. Okay, not too shabby, actually good. Very, very good, and appreciate it. Okay, part 2, attitude of gratitude. Why? Because we have a lot of thorns in our side. We have a lot of problems, a lot of challenges. And if we start out with focusing on the things we appreciate, we can move forward. We start the day in a positive direction. Instead of dwelling on the negative, we accentuate the positive. So this is a 3-step thing. First, right, I'm so happy and grateful. Now that, boom. Step 2, so you write that down. I'm so happy and grateful, now that. So that gets us prepared. Where are we on the landscape? Then we turn it into a question because our brains have evolved or are designed to solve problems. So we create a problem. What am I so happy and grateful for right now? So I ask myself that question. What am I so happy and grateful for right now? And then part 3, I turn my thoughts inward and I notice the thoughts going through my brain. And I can even see whether they're popping up like popcorn, just randomly. Oh, here's something I'm grateful for. Here's something I'm grateful for. Here's something I'm grateful for. Or it could be like a movie scrolling at the end of the movie, the credits. Up from the bottom, I'm happy about this. I'm happy about that. Or it could be like a ticker tape rolling across my mind. So we do that. And for people who are believers, Here's two things I know. People who are believers, things they're happy and grateful for have to do with their life and God and grace, etc., the opportunity to please God. And I can also promise that people who are not believers don't say those things. Okay, so for you, what is it you're so happy and grateful for right now? Could be your kids, who knows? Whatever it is, but you need to focus on that because that releases neurotransmitters and hormones that make you feel good, like oxytocin or serotonin or dopamine or those. And then you feel good, right? And that motivates you to go out and do things. All right. So that's part 2 down. Part 3, review. We do that after the video where you ask yourself, how did I feel about yesterday? What did I feel? How do I feel about yesterday? Looking for the places where I fell short of the mark and places I exceeded expectations. These I want to repeat. These I want to use as a lesson to learn from, to not do it again. And then I move on. I don't have value judgments. I don't say, oh, I suck, I'm a bad person. No, has nothing to do with that. Okay, so that's step 3. Step 4, planning for today. Plan your day, plan your work your plan. You fail to plan, you plan to fail. So this is where we look at the morsels down below in our thing. This is day 2 of week 4 in our 4-week neuroscience-oriented approach to success. This is learning about Marcus Aurelius and Stoicism, probably the last great emperor of Rome, who was a Stoic philosopher who didn't really have anybody that he could talk to. He had no equals in the world, so he would write in journals. And the journal would say, to myself. And we know these as his meditations, things he would go think about. And his instructions that were upon his death to destroy his journals, but they were found. And the people who found them said, wow, this stuff is just, we're not burning this, it's too valuable. And it has come down with us since about the year 190. The personal writings of the most powerful person in the world, who was a Stoic, and we really learned a lot. Okay, so Stoicism started about 300 years before Christ, and it pretty much effectively, if we look at the history of Stoicism, pretty much effectively in the 380s is when they started shutting down the schools or replacing them with Christian schools. Christianity adopted much of Stoic belief. Stoic belief died because in Stoicism you don't need an afterlife. You don't live today for a reward in the future. Today's your reward. If there is a future, that's icing on the cake, but we don't sacrifice today for a future reward. That it's not binary. It's not either or. It's not either I have a lousy life because I want to go to heaven, or I have a life that I don't care about going to heaven. So it's not that. Moving right along though. So that's that. Moving right along. So plan your work your plan. Inc. magazine has a great thing. 3 daily rituals scientifically proven to boost your focus, make you more productive. Okay, that's a good one. Seth Godin, Fooling Ourselves. Let's see, time check, how are we doing? 9 minutes, 11 seconds in. Seth Godin, Fooling Ourselves. It's tempting to believe that we're not easy to fool. Not by a magician, a politician, or banker. Other folks might be easily duped by a spammer or a hustler, but not us. And yet no one fools you more than you. When you look in the mirror, do you see what others see? Or is it possible you see someone far less or far more attractive than others do? Do we assume that our work is so good and so useful that anyone who doesn't see that is confused or misguided? Perhaps we feel like an imposter, fraud, or an unseen genius. These are all forms of self-deception. A useful way forward might be to ask, is it working? If the marketplace of ideas, of commerce, or of relationships sees something of value, perhaps they're right. And if they don't, perhaps we might develop the empathy to understand what's missing in our narrative about what we have to do, what we do, or how we do it. Let me say that one again. And if they don't, perhaps we might develop the empathy to understand what's missing in our narrative about what we do or how we do it. Marketing to others begins with marketing to ourselves. If it turns out that our self-deception is a reliable source of fuel for us to achieve our goals, it might be worth living with. But at some point, our ability to fool ourselves becomes toxic. It blocks our ability to create generous and useful work, and it eats away at our confidence and peace of mind. It's not easy to see ourselves as others do, but perhaps they're on to something. Okay, so try to see ourselves as other people see us. That's 11 minutes, 24 seconds in. Okay, last thought of the day. Navy SEAL-ish type maxim. Act such that yesterday was the only easy day. Push yourself just a little bit more today. Focus a little bit more. Get comfortable being uncomfortable just a little bit more of that each day, because other people do the opposite. Other people look for comfort. So if you get used to being uncomfortable, you have an advantage over the other people, because when it starts getting uncomfortable for them, what do? Pull back. So if we get comfortable being uncomfortable, it will help move us forward. And with that, I will say cut.